Apple Vision Pro, the $3,500 VR AR headset from Apple, and Enabong has pre-ordered it. He's doing well for himself, it seems so.
Yeah. I pre-ordered the device. I'm going to be dropping videos on it, and it's going to be quite interesting.
So it's only available in the US, which is why I
Yeah.
haven't been able to order it or anything like that. And there's a few things, right? So firstly, let's just go on to the fact that there aren't going to be many apps available because Netflix has said that they're not going to be supporting an app. YouTube has also said the same. I think we've got Disney that will have apps on the Vision Pro. But yeah, I mean, if you want to watch YouTube videos, then you're going to have to go through the Safari browser. So
Yeah, it's quite interesting. The app support is much lower than I expected. I expected to see at least from the major, manufacturers. So I think at least at the very best, they're treating it as a developer device and not as a consumer device. I have to wait and see what those apps will be on the Vision Pro. Will I be using the browser? Will I be using Apple services and things like that? What's that going to be like? And if Apple is really pushing more that I record content with
spatial
my
video.
phone, spatial video, yeah, stuff like that. So it would be interesting to see that because I have a bunch of videos lined up for this, but one I think a lot of people will be interested in is comparing it to the $500 Meta Quest.
Yeah, which is pretty decent, right? So
it's more than decent. It's really good.
Yeah. So this is the thing, and it's like a seventh of the price. So when you kind of look at that and you put it into context, because here's the thing. So like you mentioned spatial video, right? Now one of the things that I mentioned after I tried it on for the first time was that when they had those videos of the guy with the Vision Pro on his face, and then he's recording the video of his kid's birthday party, and I'm like, I have nieces and nephews. If I had something like that on my face and I was trying to record that, they wouldn't be looking at the cake. They'd be like, "What have you got on your face?" Or they'll be trying to like, "Let me have it," or something like that. That is not going to be a natural reaction, and that's what I was saying. That I can't imagine going around trying to capture memories with that on my face. So I'm glad that Apple did kind of take the feedback of everybody on board and like brought it onto the iPhone. And I think that's what they were planning to do eventually as well. That you can capture stuff with spatial video on your iPhone, and then you can view it back in 3D, which looks amazing when you do have it on, right? So that's the first thing. But then the other thing that I've been seeing, because we both got to try it on after the launch straight away, a few others like, Justine, Marquez, a few others have been able to go and try it on further. And one of the things that I'm hearing from a lot of people is that it is heavy.
I mean, okay, look. My first use, when we tried it on at DubDub, it didn't feel heavy to me. But again, I was excited. It was my first time using it. So, all those come into play. And I've used it for about an hour. Now, I do understand that. And I think, this is a point of building with premium materials, metals and things like that. When on your head, you want it as light as possible, because one thing that I realized with that is I've seen videos of people going to this guy does a video on TikTok where he says, "I'm using my Meta Quest in places where you will never use it, or just so you know how it feels." So he goes to the gym with it. Yeah. He's doing pull-ups, he's doing bench press and stuff like that. And a lot of people ask the question, like, "Isn't that heavy?" He's like, "No, it's pretty light. You can see I can walk around with it, and it's easy for me to use." That's the key thing for those kind of headsets, especially just on a day-to-day. So it will be interesting. I'll let you guys know because that whole weekend I'm going to be using it extensively. And if you see me with my neck tilted to one side in my video,
then But here's the thing. So okay, here's a question. So when you had your demo, did they have just the strap that goes around the back, or did they also have a strap for you that goes around the over your head like headphones do?
So it was just the one around the back, if I remember correctly. I would say I did feel the weight. That was the one thing I did mention. I did feel the weight. It wasn't heavy at the time, but I can see that if I'm going to be using it for 2 hours, I have to lay down on the couch.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, stay there.
So what's interesting is, because you got to see it before me, right? And
Yeah.
I got to test it out the day after. Now, when I tried it on the day after, they had a additional strap that, and this is something that I talked about in my reactions. They had an additional strap that went over your head, right? And in all of the marketing videos and stuff, there was probably only one clip where they had somebody with that strap over the head, right? And I think what must have happened is from the feedback of the initial hands-on, people have been like, oh, it feels a bit heavy. So they were like, okay, let's get that other strap that they do have that comes with the pack to be able to distribute the weight a little bit better, right? Now, for me, I'm like, that messes my hair up. Like, even right now, I don't like wearing these headphones. I just, it just flattens my, or any volume in my head just flattens it out, right? Okay. Like with the Meta Quest, it's even worse because it goes over the top. But with headsets like that, you need something that's going to distribute the weight. So from what I'm seeing right now is that there will be another separate strap that should help even that weight a little bit better than just having it around the back, which looks way cooler and looks great for marketing, but when it comes to practicality, is not as practical. You do need that weight distribution, and the only way you're really going to be able to do that is over your head.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, to me, that's just standard. It's physics. You can't have something in front and then just wrapped at the back. It just makes sense.
Now, one thing I do want to kind of clarify is that this is a first gen product, and like I think with all mixed reality headsets, they are going to get smaller and better. Like right now, we've got the Ray-Bans, which, are like your glasses, and that's kind of the where we want to reach, right? So there's going to be a process of a few years where we're going to have these headsets that are not as comfortable. They are a little bit heavy, right? Now, speaking of the battery, there's a wire that goes down, and it's a battery pack, which will last up to 2 hours. And then what you can do is, even if you want to plug in, it needs to go through this battery, right? Now, my thinking was, initially when I saw it, I thought, okay, it's an external battery, brilliant. That takes the weight off your head. It's in your pocket, okay? So that's the first thing, right? Now, my thinking was that, okay, this is brilliant because I could buy multiple batteries, and then what I could do essentially is just unplug and then, put in a fresh battery. So say I'm watching a Bollywood film, right? Which is 3 hours long, right? 2 hours, my battery's dead. I don't have power. But then guess what? I just unplug, pop in a fresh battery, and then I can start going again, right? That's the way I thought it was going to be, but it's not like that, which is kind of annoying. And I thought
there's no power reserve in the headset itself.
Yeah.
For you to do that, you can't hot swap.
Yeah, but this is the thing that would have made sense, and maybe they'll do that for the generations going forward. And maybe, I don't know, if they wanted to kind of prevent third parties from making batteries for the Apple Vision Pro, maybe that kind of restricts it in that way. But to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like having just 2 hours, like a movie, okay, a standard Hollywood movie, hour and a half. But
I mean, they could easily do it with a proprietary connector on the other side, that connects to the headset. But I don't know why. But I hear you. I think it's a very valid concern. But then again, this is a developer device. They said that. So
that's true. So I mean, it's early stages. Let's see how it goes.
So we can't fault them for that in that regard. I would like to see how fast we get apps from developers once the headset hits. Is it something that in the next 3 months I'm going to see it populated with tons of apps that I can actually access and use? And I also like to see creators who, if they can edit videos there, like how does that environment feel? Because you can make a giant 120-inch screen and then have a physical mouse and keyboard, and
I think you would need a physical mouse and keyboard because when you've got the virtual keyboards and stuff like that, I think it's just not going to be the same. If you connect a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, then boom, I think that would be brilliant because then you could have like a however large screen, your timeline could be spread across because you can get your Mac. That's something that I definitely want to see when you kind of link it to your Mac and get a big screen. That's going to be quite interesting.
But look, I'm excited to check it out. And I'm also crying at the same time at the price. That's all I can say. So please watch the videos, guys. Watch as much as possible, multiple times.
Business expense. Just keep watch through all of the ads to give E as much as possible, ad revenue as possible to kind of make up that. But I mean, nevertheless, it's interesting, and I'll be, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Obviously, it's not available in the UK as yet, so I can't actually do my review on it. But excited nevertheless.